Breaking tonight, Commons Speaker Sir Lindsay Hoyle has demanded a meeting with the Mail on Sunday editor to discuss the decision to publish a controversial article about Angela Rayner. The paper facing furious backlash for running claims by anonymous MPs that the Deputy Labour leader likes to put the Prime Minister off his stride in the chamber by crossing and uncrossing her legs when they clash at Prime Minister's questions. An unknown source told the paper she knows she can't compete with Boris's Oxford Union debating training, but she has other skills which he lacks. She has admitted as much when enjoying drinks with us on the Commons terrace. Now, the Sunday paper is also under fire for drawing comparisons to a famous erotic scene from the 1992 film Basic Instinct, where Sharon Stone seduces Michael Douglas. And, of course, a furious Angela Rayner slammed the claims as perverted lies, with the Prime Minister today joining a chorus of condemnation.
I thought it was a most appalling load of sexist, misogynist tripe, and I immediately got in touch with Angela, and we had a very friendly exchange. And, you know, if we ever find who was responsible for it, well, I don't know what we'll do with them, but we'll be the terrors of the earth. But, you know, it's totally intolerable, that kind of thing.
Now, look, while I get that any controversial article should be criticised, I think it's a chilling assault on free speech, actually, to pressurise a media outlet, a highly credible media outlet, and a very good newspaper, the Mail on Sunday, into revealing a source or restrict what they publish. The Speaker should, quite frankly, butt out and let newspapers publish what they please and what they deem to be news. What do you think? As this row rumbles on, is talking about Angela Rayner's clothing sexist and misogynist? Send in your thoughts to Dan at GBNews.uk, tweet them to me at GBNews, and while you're there you can vote in our Twitter poll. But weighing in on this now, we have the former glamour model, social commentator Leilani Dowding, TV cleaning guru Kim Woodburn, and the viral sensation chief officer at Cheshire Association of Local Councils, Jackie Weaver. Leilani, look, I know people have had views on this article, but is there actually anything sexist about it? I mean, at the end of the day, surely a newspaper's job is to report and to bring into the public sphere what MPs are saying privately.
I don't think it's sexist or misogynist at all. I think it's ridiculous and it's childish at the worst. But I feel like the media want to, or other people just want to create a whole scandal and blow things out of proportion, especially when it comes to Boris at the moment. And to be quite honest, it's a lot of like, it's all become very he said, she said, a bit like Towie. But this is politics and it's just getting all a bit silly.
Jackie Weaver, you say this is sexist and you're angry about it, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really do angry. I'm unhappy about it. I mean, when you think about it, if we're now saying that this is just what we expect, then that's just appalling. And I think you're absolutely right. We do expect it, and so we don't react to it when we see it. I mean, can you imagine any time we talk about a woman, the first thing we comment about is what she's wearing? First thing. Doesn't matter what incredible thing she's done or what she says, the first thing we do is talk about her clothes. And then the second part is the message. And we don't even recognise that that is wrong. That is really unfair, because we most definitely don't comment on a man's appearance before we start to listen to what he's saying.
Kim Woodburn, where do you stand on this one?
I think your ladies made very good points. In a way, I do agree. But can we not recall the time a few weeks ago when sweet, loving Angela Rayner called Boris Johnson the absolute scum and every Tory MP absolute scum? That is what she said. She was made to apologise by Keir Starmer. She is, after all, the shadow chancellor. That sort of talk, disgusting. OK, so she insulted them by calling them scum. So why is there any offence going on here? All this is, ladies, is tittle-tattle. It's a bunch of Conservative MPs who thought, how dare you call us scum? It's on your mind. And they've got together, chatting away like the boys do. It's been over, the police saying, well, at least we're not flashing our legs like she does. They know she doesn't flash her legs. But they can't, when did you call somebody scum? They're getting back at her. Now, it's got to the newspapers with Dave and Dylan. It's got to the newspapers. It's a load of rubbish. But please let us remember what she said about Boris Johnson and the whole of the Conservative Party. So this is no lady.
Well, Jackie Weaver, I think that's a very fair point, actually, because it's sort of ironic, isn't it, for Angela Rayner, who, as Kim points out, has really coarsened, I would say, the dialogue in politics as a result of her scum comments. It's a bit ironic of her to be so up in arms, is it not?
I guess, first of all, I absolutely agree. I mean, I remember the comment. I remember being absolutely shocked to hear somebody talk like that. I don't care what.
Vile.
It really was. However, we can't just have a situation where we only defend the virtuous women. So it's kind of like only if we're justifying that you are a good person who always says the right thing, then it's appropriate for society to protect you. And one of the things, I'd say, goes back to what I said before, that really troubles me. And I guess that, I'm a certain age. I've grown up with things that we have just accepted as women over the years. So much so that, our kind of attitude is very often, well, it didn't make me bleed, so it's okay. And I think that actually we deserve more in the modern world than that. It isn't enough to say, I'm not going to die from it. We really do deserve to be treated the same way as men, particularly when we're engaging with the media.
Yeah, but Leilani, though, I'm sorry. Sorry, Kim.
Scum. How do we expect them? Most of them are men. We call them all utter scum, which is the filth of the earth. And she expects you to be sweet about her. You get what you give. She's no wilting flower. And the position she's got to be talking like that, she shouldn't have the position. And this started with tittle-tattle with the Conservatives. Oh, she's showing her legs. They know she wasn't. But it's men's talk. And as for saying she's sitting there like Sharon had no drawers on, dear. And plus the fact that was Boris there with exploding wide fronts? Are we rather exaggerating this above all? It's ridiculous.
Yes, of course we are. But that's what newspapers do. Of course we're exaggerating. But I hear your point. Kim, Leilani, I wanted to make another point on this, that I actually think there's a lot of rank hypocrisy going on when we say that we only talk about female appearances in the media. I'm sorry, I have seen so many vile newspaper articles over the past few months about Boris Johnson's weight, about his hairstyle, about his clothes. And by the way, I think he's fair game. He's the Prime Minister. But let's not pretend for a second, Leilani, that we only comment on female appearances of our politicians, because we don't. We comment on the appearance of Boris all the time.
Absolutely, 100%. We're always talking about how scruffy he is, always talking about how scruffy his hair is and how he looks as though he's just got out of bed 2 minutes ago. So it's not something that's only just exclusive to female politicians. And to be honest, I've not really heard that many female politicians being talked about their appearances. And, this is a whole thing of her crossing and uncrossing her legs. It's just so ridiculous. And it actually, more power to her if she can actually distract Boris by doing so. As Kim said, it was Sharon Stone, had no knickers on. So no one's even talking about whether she did or whether she didn't. They're saying that someone's crossed and uncrossed their legs. And to be honest, it's more of a joke on Boris than her, really. And for everyone to be so take such offence over it. It's just so nauseating. And it's
because, Kim, isn't the issue here that we're going to become too scared to talk about anything, Kim, to ever comment on a female politician whatsoever, because we're going to be cancelled like the poor political editor of the Mail on Sunday, who, by the way, can I just say, Glenn Owen, he is a brilliant journalist. And now the woke mob are trying to cancel him.
But I want to know why we listen to these woke idiots. They're absolute. I'm 80 years of age. I've been through life like everybody else. They want to get a life. The bloody idiots. They're stupid.
Who are you referring to, Kim? The woke mob?
The woke mob. They want to get a life, silly bitches. I'm sorry, I've got no time for them. We have got the Ukraine war.
Yeah.
We have got the NHS. People are dying for lack of surgery. We've had COVID. We've got the economy Last week, no, 2 weeks ago, I got a letter. Now, I'm lucky I made a few bob on television. I'm ever so grateful. I'm ever so grateful. I had not a pot to pee in when I started. I could have been like them. I got a letter from the the pension scheme last week. Dear Mrs. Woodburn, we are going to give you a raise, now you're 80, of 25 pence a week. What? 25 pence a week. So every 4 weeks you'll get £1 extra on your pension because you're 80. Please, if you challenge this, would you kindly write back to us? The postage stamp's 75 pence. Now, look.
Good point.
Stop. Because we've got to stop picking on everybody. Leave Boris alone. Because I'll tell you something. Yeah. I speak to many people. Nobody can stomach Keir Starmer. No. If they like the Labour Party, the people that have said to me this, I'm not lying, this is true, they've said to me, Kim, we voted Labour all our life. Many people, they've said, you know why I won't vote Labour? Can't stomach Keir Starmer. The man has no personality. He's extremely dislikable, whether he means to be or not. And all he ever says, we'll have it tomorrow in the papers.
Let Jackie respond.
He only wants to be the Prime Minister.
Jackie, you respond to that.
Female empowerment back 20 years with the conversation we've just had. You know, if we're actually saying to young women, if you're able to use sex to your advantage in a debate, then go for it. I mean, I think that is such an offensive thing to say to all our marvellous female politicians that have got to where they are, not by using their assets, but by using their brains.
Leilani?
Well, we don't know that, dear, do we?
About how
we don't know that. I'm not going to go into that because if you want a hot or pearly,
just let Leilani come in. Let Leilani come in.
Sorry, I was just saying it's not always about your education levels or how far you got in university. It's about your, you know, it could be about how personable you are, how charming you are, or even diversity quotas. So it's not always just about your education levels. There's so many other things. And you know what? I don't actually think that she was able to distract Boris in any way, crossing and uncrossing her legs. But if she was, I mean, wow, that's pretty powerful.
Good point. Good point. Well, I appreciated this debate because I think we've covered issues that the rest of the mainstream media have been too scared to tackle around this. That was the former glamour model, now social commentator Leilani Dowding, the TV guru Kim Woodburn. Yes, Kim, final word.
Call in Mr. Dillon for an interview. There's so much more we've got to do. Get the.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, and also, Kim, we have something called freedom of the press in this country. He should be able to publish whatever he wants. That's Kim Woodburn, the viral sensation. And another viral sensation, Chief Officer at the Cheshire Association of Local Councils, Jackie Weaver. Thank you all. So who do you agree with there? There's Jackie. Well, Michelle says on Twitter, she should learn to dress appropriately for the role she is in. This is on Rayner, not Jackie. I do not expect male MPs in shorts, therefore she should not have all of her legs on show. From Stuart, of course it's sexist. It's an easy way for right-wing media to attack their opposition, anything to take the attention away from Boris and the mess he's in. And from Poppy, Angela Rayner's clothing was inappropriate. Talking about this is not sexist or misogynistic. We want to see our MPs, both men and women, dressed respectfully. And your verdict is now in. Just 35% of you. Gosh, this is interesting because if you look at the rest of the media, you'd think it was the entire country. But just 35% of you agree that talking about Angela Rayner's clothing is in any way sexist or misogynistic. 65% of you say it's not.